back to the MVP podcast, the people show where we talk about the most valuable players in the world of sports. My name is B-Man. I'm here with Naeem, the Dream, and we are here to talk Champions League football. Naeem, it's officially over. Bayern Munich are champions. Is it well-deserved?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Most definitely. I don't think people can judge it. Before we continue, though, let me do the social line, which is if you like the video, please like the video. We try and put content out for you guys. If you like it, the least you can do is click the like button, right?
100%. Listen, you and Sosa did the video yesterday. And just after you did the video, we got a little surprise from a couple of big timers in the YouTube industry.
Okay. Oh, my God.
So why don't you slot that in right here?
100%. 100%.
MVP podcast. Shout MVP podcast.
Yes.
Yo, you don't understand how much I love the site, man.
That's mad.
Content is so fire.
That's
content is so fire, man. So that was good fun. But let's talk then. Let's talk Champions League finals. PSG against Bayern Munich. It ended so-so. It ended so-so. It wasn't really an exciting game so much. What did you take away from it, Naeem?
It was more of a tactical affair, but I felt like there was a lot of nerves on the PSG side because I personally think PSG had the better chances. Yeah. Like they had more clear-cut chances. And if you would pick a winner just from the chances, you would have said PSG because Mbappe had a couple of very easy chances. Neymar had one chance which was well saved. Neuer was fantastic. But Bayern Munich, you could tell when they were on the ball, they looked like they were the champions of Europe and the champions of their own league. And they knew they were dominating teams week in, week out. I didn't feel like that at the beginning from PSG. They grew into the game. But then I feel like they didn't throw enough as well. You know, when they did go 1-0 down, they didn't throw the kitchen sink for me. Yeah, they tried, but they didn't throw the kitchen sink like you see them against, was it Atalanta when they went 1-0 down?
Yeah.
Atalanta, you saw it towards the end. You saw it from a few teams, but you didn't see that in the final, which was a bit disappointing.
But I think that's the difference between a team that generally knows how to win compared to a team that doesn't. And if we're being real honest, there was absolute class all over the pitch. And like you said, it could have gone either way. And like you said, it was a tactical affair, and I think the PSG manager got it completely wrong.
In what sense?
In what sense? Please, maybe I just didn't check up the news that much, but what was the reason why Verratti didn't start the Champions League finals?
They didn't want to tinker with the consistency they had with Herrera in that spot because Verratti's coming off an injury. He's been out for a little while, so they didn't want to mess around with what's worked over the last two games.
But would you say 100% that it worked, though? Did PSG steamroll teams? Like
they didn't really. Yeah, that's true. Like they beat Leipzig quite easily. Atlanta was a bit more end-to-end a little bit. Atlanta could have scored a good few chances, a good few goals from the chances they created. Sorry. But in that game, I think they were lacking someone who could ping the ball around. Marquinhos was fantastic. Breaking up challenges, winning the ball back, putting his body on the line. He was fantastic. But they could have done with someone like Verratti maybe, kept the ball, spray it side to side. A bit like what Thiago was doing. Like, Paredes was fantastic at some points in the game. Like, some passes were wicked. But there wasn't enough of that. And I feel like if they had Verratti alongside him, they would have been able to keep the ball better. Whether they have won or not, forward still didn't put the ball in the net. That's the problem.
That's the massive problem. And some of those chances were ridiculously clear cut. But let's pick out some players, right? And we'll start on the Bayern Munich side. Lewandowski came in having scored, 15 goals in the Champions League this season?
15 or 16, yeah.
15 or 16, ridiculous. He didn't score a goal. Do you attribute that to Marquinhos keeping him quiet? Or
I don't think he had a good game. I just don't think he had it wasn't the best Lewandowski game of the campaign. I think there was other players who turned up, like Serge Gnabry didn't play very well. Alphonso Davies didn't play very well. And these 3-4 guys have been the stars of the season and the Champions League run. I thought Thomas Muller was fantastic. I thought Thiago was amazing as always. Coman played really, really well and deserved the goal. Kimmich, I love that player. I've always loved that player. He was amazing. So it was those other guys. And that's the problem I've always said about Bayern Munich. I said it with Dani on the other video. I say it again, there's about 18 world-class players in that team.
Yeah.
It's unfair. Like Liverpool were unfair this season, how good they were. But they don't have that many world-class players, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Man City have been unfair for so long. But even they don't have that many world-class. They have 18 world-class players. I counted. At least. Maybe more. But at least. It's crazy.
That's insane. That's insane.
You know what I mean? Like, 4 or 5 big names don't turn up, but you've still got 4 or 5 other top 20 players in the world or 25 players in the world. Crazy.
But that's the model that's set up in Germany, isn't it? Where Bayern Munich kind of just gets to pick and choose who they take. Mentioning Kingsley Coman, he's 24 years old.
Yes.
24, and he's got 20 trophies to his name.
20 trophies. And he played for PSG when he was younger.
Did he?
PSG, then Juve, both.
I still don't understand why Juve let him go in the first place. To Bayern Munich of all teams.
So the reason why he left was because they couldn't promise him the playing time because they just bought Douglas Costa at that point. So Douglas Costa was their guy. They had Juan Cuadrado, so they couldn't give him the playing time he wanted. So he was like going there, and I felt at the time it wasn't the right move because Robin and Ribery were still there, and there was another guy too. I can't remember. There was another guy who was on the wing as well who was good. So they had a few wingers. So I thought this is not a good move, but his patience.
That patience worked out.
100%.
He could end up being the most decorated player of all time, and he didn't even go to the World Cup. Imagine if he had that to his name.
France is lit, man. France has got some lit players.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, what about Mbappe? Because I can say I was genuinely disappointed in him. I thought he'd cause a lot more trouble than what.
I love Mbappe. I love Mbappe. Like, he's one of my favorite players. The personality, amazing. And the thing that let me down was, and I think this happened a few times in sports. I feel like it's the young guy, his first time, his nerves. But then I thought to myself, this guy, not single-handedly, but he won the World Cup, man, and he was a massive part of that World Cup win. So I thought this is not as big as a World Cup win, but I feel like the pressure here was more on his and Neymar's shoulders.
Yeah.
That's why I think it got to him. I think he felt like he needed to be the guy that brought it. Whereas with France, there was Griezmann, who was the star at the time. There was Pogba, and there was a few others that were kind of all part of it, and they bought in. I feel like he felt like he had to do too much. And some of those passes, you know, he normally puts them away, man.
Because that chance that he got, the through ball from Choupo-Moting where he was offside, and the goal wouldn't have stood anyway.
Yeah.
Even that chance he missed because the whistle came after he took the shot. So what about Neymar?
So Neymar, for me, he didn't have his best game, but he didn't have a bad game either. I thought he tried really hard. He did create a couple of chances. He was active. Like, he didn't get as many chances as Mbappe. And I think if he did, then we could maybe pin a bit more of this on him. I'm not pinning it on Mbappe. I just feel like the team wasn't aggressive enough. I'm not putting this on any, and I love PSG. I can't put this on any individual player. Like, if Mbappe scores one or two of them chances, we're talking about a different score here. I'm talking about PSG as the champions. But then at the same time, it's like if Thilo Kehrer is the right side of his man and doesn't get under the man, then, you know, Coman doesn't score that goal. Thiago was a rock at the back. You know, like, but if he had organised it better on that cross, because you saw how they were scrambling. So you could pinpoint on loads of different people, but I feel like it was more of a team aggression. That's what I think anyway.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's really hard to pin it on one, but it still comes down to who are your main leaders in this team. Who's meant to, when it gets the hardest, who's meant to pick you up and say, look, guys, I'm going to drag you with me, but give me some legs. And I thought Neymar was meant to be that guy. I thought Neymar's meant to be that guy all the time. That's why so in the last video, I was extremely critical of him. I am always extremely critical of him, purely because I hated the fact that he moved to PSG in the first place. It's because I went to the new camp and I watched him and I thought, this kid is absolute magic. Because the moment he touched the ball, I was like, that's it. It's game. He's going to score. And he did. He scored a hat-trick the game that I saw him because Messi was injured. But the point I'm trying to make is he was that good. But why are we not seeing the same Neymar that we saw at Barcelona? I don't see it anymore. I don't see the guy that would be more direct. I always feel like he has to take such a long route to try and get to the goal, when in fact he could be just like Mbappe and just use his skills to get forward rather than twinkle toe his way through everything. Just be direct.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say because obviously playing at Barcelona, they're probably a better team, better players. He played with one of the greatest Barcelona teams of all time, one of the greatest club teams of all time in the 2014-15 season when they won. So, you know, going into why he moved and all of that, it's like digressing massively. But I feel like if he had won here, he could have silenced a lot of doubters because at the end of the day, he's moved to a new team, a team that's not respected in football as much as it is in fashion and all these other things. You know, it's more of a brand, isn't it, than a football club. So winning here, I think it would have solidified his legacy. It's like that when LeBron James won in Cleveland. It's like, you know, forget the 2 Miami titles for a second. He won at Barcelona. This would just mean so much more. I know it's not his hometown team, but it's that you made that big public move. You moved for the world record, 198 million. You know, that would have solidified it for me. Because at the end of the day, PSG's never won the title, just like Cleveland didn't win. So, you know, in the same way, I'm not saying the two players are the same, best in their divisions or whatever, but it just, for me, it would have solidified it. I think a lot of the haters and a lot of the doubters could have come off him. And I think maybe if he had won, he could have said, okay, I'm done now. Like, I've won it now. I can go back to Barcelona. With them going through some stuff, maybe Messi stays with him coming in. I don't know. It's just all speculation. But now I feel like he can't go. I feel like he can't leave until he wins it there. He has to win it there.
Do you think that they're generally going to win a Champions League by the time?
I think they can. I think they can because to me, they showed a lot of maturity in this tournament. Like from the years previous, the choke jobs of previous, they showed a bit of grit. Now, it depends on who replaces Thiago Silva. Because I think that's a big part of it. Because I feel like even though he was part of some of these defeats, I feel like he had them calm at the back. Marquinhos was solid in front of the defense. They need to sort out right back because they've got Mounier. Tyler Kerr is not good enough for me.
He got absolutely dealt with.
He made the Man United mistakes last year. He made a mistake yesterday. Like, he's not good enough for that team, in my opinion. He's good in the French league, but not for that team. And they need to sort out what they're doing with the front 3/4 because Icardi, again, he wasn't there. Why didn't he play? He didn't even come off the bench, but they've just bought him for 40 million or whatever. So they need to sort out what they're doing. But I genuinely believe that team can win. I think Man City is going to come with a vengeance. Liverpool, obviously, they want to be part of it every time. Chelsea now, with all these recruitments, they're going to be solid. Real Madrid, Barcelona. This was their best chance if there ever was one.
Yeah.
It was solid.
Do you know, just to go back a little bit, and I'm talking like a few months, Dani predicted that Bayern Munich could win, but he mentioned PSG as well, and to see both of them in the finals, that is insane. That is insane. I love that.
He did well.
I'm surprised you haven't mentioned Bayern Munich because they've gone the whole group undefeated. They've won every single game in their group. They've took all the wins out of all the 6 games they've played. They've won all of them.
Is that your sleeper team?
I think I genuinely think. And I'd like to say PSG because the forwards of PSG are phenomenal, but they have a reputation for being bottle jobs. But honestly, Neymar, Cavani, Icardi, they're all on fire. Mbappe, they're all on fire.
But what's next for PSG then? What do they need to do? Because we know Bayern Munich are going to be challenging again, at least for another 5 years with how young their squad is.
Yeah.
And it still bugs me. I heard a story, and I don't know which Premier League team it was. There was a Premier League team that apparently knew about Davies when he was in Canada because his wife told him. Because his wife is involved in like football over in Canada.
Yeah.
But they couldn't get him a work permit to come to England.
I read about this. I don't want to say Man United because
it's definitely not Man United. No, it's one of the lesser.
I think it was a lower level teams. Yeah,
it was 100% one of the lesser clubs.
But yeah. I remember we were interested in, but it was a lower level club. I remember reading it. I can't remember who, but you know what's funny? She plays for PSG Women. She's got a chance of winning the Champions League as well.
Yeah,
first to win the Champions League at the same time.
That would be sick. That would
be wicked.
But the Bayern Munich are so young that they're going to be set for the next 5 years, and they can just build around the team that they have.
Mm-hmm.
What about PSG? You're saying if they won the Champions League, well, this one in particular, it would validate them. I don't personally think so. Purely because of the fact that the whole one-legged situation. This to me is a COVID Cup. The one that by the Premier League, the Bundesliga, all the leagues, Serie A that restarted, they finished off the games they were supposed to. That's why I don't class it as a COVID-19 trophy.
Yeah.
But the Premier League, everything changed so drastically that it wasn't even the same tournament that happened year in, year out. So I'm still in the camp of, well, if this was over 2 legs, would they have been able to do the same kind of damage to teams as they could have? I don't know. I always say, prove it to me before I give you the credit. So what do PSG have to do to take this experience and then, like Liverpool, although they lost to Real Madrid, came back the year after without any changes, what do PSG do? Do they add a few things here, or do they trust what they have on the pitch and just replace the centre-back who is going to leave?
I think, right back, centre-back, 100%. That's a priority. I think because they'll win the French league again. No one's challenging them. Everyone's plucking the best French talent this season already. You know, Arsenal got Gabriel, Magalhaes, whatever his name is, and there's a couple of others that are going. So centre-back, right back. I think midfield's fine. Enough creativity there. I think the wings are fine as well.
What about the manager? Just to end it on that. What about the manager?
I like the manager.
Really?
They buy into him. They believe in him. Like I read a story about in February when they were losing, and Verratti invited everyone to his restaurant and said, "Look, we do want to be remembered as a collection of superstars or a team." And they ended up getting to the final. They bought into it. They bought into the manager. They bought into the philosophy. I think the manager's really good. I'm not saying he's Jurgen Klopp. He's an inspirer. He's someone that gets people, buying into his system and get them going. So I personally would keep the manager for another year because he hasn't failed. Like this year, he hasn't failed. A couple of chances. Like if they get beat 8-0 or whatever, you can maybe fire him and say, "What the hell was that?" But they got the final, and they were very close to winning. The ball hits the other side, they're in.
Exactly.
So I say he did a good job this season.
Okay, cool. Well, we're going to have to end it there, Naeem. Like we said at the start of the video, if you like the video, and we're going to keep dropping content again soon, right?
Yeah, man, for sure.
Hi, peace.
Peace out.